How does James Harden now look?
Well, to me, he doesn't look great. I happen to love the guy personally, but this is the second time in as many seasons he's forced his way out of a team. And so when you look at what he was willing to do to depart from Houston, it's one thing for you to sit home and say, I want to play ball, but I don't want to play for you any longer. It's another thing for you to come into camp out of shape on purpose to force your way out of the organization, because it takes time, as Big Perk knows, to get yourself in shape. So you compromised your own greatness just to get out of a particular place. Mm-hmm. Well, ultimately, you ended up getting a hamstring injury. And it's been difficult for you to recover. It potentially cost them a championship, because if James Harden was healthy last year for the playoffs, they would have taken Milwaukee out, in my estimation. He was never healthy. And that left Kevin Durant by himself once Kyrie went down with the bad ankle. Mm-hmm. So that's a problem. Then you go to Philadelphia. Then you come into the season this year, all right? And you incur another hamstring injury. That's fine. Injuries happen. But a lot of it was because you looked bigger, okay? You didn't look to be in the greatest of shape. So that's problematic for you, because people are looking at you and saying you didn't do all you could do to be in a peak condition. But then you couple that with coming late to practice, coming late to games. I was told after they played Utah, he showed up to the next game in Denver late, okay? Because you were sending a message that you didn't want to be there. I had somebody in his camp, when they saw me on SportsCenter or NBA Today yesterday, rather, talking about James Harden, how healthy do we know him to be? I literally got a text that I could show from somebody in this camp that says, you know he was faking the injury, right? You know he's not injured at all. He's healthy. He's ready to go. That's what they said. And so this is the kind of reputation that he's built for himself. That's not good. That means you got to get to Philadelphia and you got to ball out, because balling out is going to forgive everything, especially with Embiid having the kind of year that he has. But I want to add this, KP. You know what I am happy about? Despite the fact that I think even though Philadelphia got better, that Daryl Morey didn't get the better of this deal. You know what and KP, this is going to put a smile on your face, or at least get you riled up in a good way. What I love about this is we going to really find out what Kyrie Irving is made of. And let me tell you why, KP. Let me tell you why. First of all, he was just on there completely delusional. You know, being a leader. Who told you were a leader? Who? Who the hell told him that? I mean, ain't nobody looking at Kyrie. I'm sitting there. The minute he said that, I'm like, my eyes almost popped out of my head like Beetlejuice. I'm like, what the hell he talking about? Ain't nobody looking at him like he's some leader. I'm like, what the hell he's talking about? He's clueless, right. Clueless, okay? All right? That's number one. But here's the thing. Ben Simmons' arrival puts more of an offensive onus on Kyrie's shoulders. And because it does that, since you got Ben, since you got Andre Drummond, and you've buffered your front line, since you've got Seth Curry with Patty Mills, and KD coming back, you know what we gonna find out, KP? How dedicated are you, Kyrie? You gonna leave him hanging? Because clearly with these moves that have been made, you know, you're needed now more than ever. You know, you gonna still not take the vaccine, you gonna still ignore the New York.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's no update on that right now.
No update with it. You gonna still leave them hanging? We gonna find out, because let's check me if I'm wrong, Big Perk. Ain't that a part of leadership? You know, KD's in Brooklyn. KD's in Brooklyn because of you. So now that this team is this team, you gonna sit up there and say we can do it next year, or you gonna go for it now? All right? If you don't go for it now, you willing to say I'm leaving the team hanging? This is about me. It ain't about them. We gonna see what decision he makes as the season progresses.
Well, let me tell you how great of a leader Kyrie Irving is. He's so great of a leader that James Harden forced his way out of Brooklyn because of his leadership skills. That's the number one thing, and I agree with you on that. But the other stuff you just uttered out your mouth, I totally disagree. Look, this makes James Harden look like a man on a mission. Makes him look good, in my opinion. When you take it all the way back to the Houston Rockets situation, Daryl Morey stepped down. All of a sudden, no communication with James Harden about who was going to be the coach. James Harden wanted Ty Lue. No one discussed that with him. They hired Silas, who, by the way, I'm a huge fan of, but James Harden wasn't on that. It was no communication with James Harden in that organization, who he had poured everything and more, made that team relevant again since Elijah won, and then you don't communicate with him. I would want out anyway. So what James Harden is showing me, the great thing about it, people could call him a ring chaser or whatever the case may be, is that he's trying to win a championship. He wants to win a championship. And now when he gets to Brooklyn, he's like, hold on, man. All right, look, we had a plan in place. We had a plan in place, and I keep telling you about the plan, Stephen A. You know about it. You know they all were supposed to sign contract extensions before the season started. All, the big three, all was supposed to be locked in, and then Kyrie derailed that, and all of a sudden everything else that transpired, the pattern of events, and then all of a sudden we know the relationship that Daryl Morey and James Harden has with one another. We already know that relationship, but all of a sudden, the big Philly, Joel Embiid, started to look like eye candy. And the thing that I told you yesterday on NBA Today, I'm saying it again. When you're on the other end and you're looking at a guy like Joel who's showing passion, who's showing that he's starving not only to be a great basketball player, but he wants to win, and he wants to win at a high level, and both of y'all are both starving for a championship, hell yeah, I want to go over there. I want to force my way out. Then I'd rather be in with a guy that is 100% in and 10 toes down than be with an organization that has a guy that's part-time in and not all the way in, and not guys holding him accountable. He looks good in my eyes.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.